Extremely excited to be here, fortunate to be here. And so, yeah, it's been great.
Is there something different about this one?
I mean, there's many layers, obviously. I don't know if I want to dive into all of them, but I think the ownership that he's putting on the players, Coach Quinn is putting on the players to really mold this to our image and how we want this thing to go. It's really going to be something that the players are able to hold each other, I would say, accountable to. The standards are very clear. And also the energy. Every coach. It's not just one coach bringing juice. All the coaches have it. It's almost like a prereq. Every morning they have their little staff meeting and say, how much energy are we going to bring today? So it's been fun. It's been really fun to be a part of. And just the guys that they've brought in as well. Really good people first, and obviously really good football players.
You said year 12. You got a quarterback who's going into year .1.
Yep.
Your early impressions of Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, obviously we're just getting to know each other. But right off the bat, you can tell he's an extremely talented player. The talent kind of jumps out at you when you're out on the field with him. The arm talent is there. But also he really, really cares about this thing. He wants to be as good as he can possibly be. He's working his butt off. I know he's doing a lot behind the scenes to make himself as prepared as possible, working with as many coaches as he can. And so I've been really impressed so far.
And the Cliff Kingsbury offense, what are your early impressions?
I mean, I've been in this offense before, so my impressions are that they're a little different than with some of the stuff we did in Arizona. But overall, we always want to be on the attack. He wants to put guys in situations to be successful. He's not going to ask any of us to do something that we're not comfortable with or really good at. And so he's going to maximize our potential as individuals, and then it's up to us to go make plays.
DQ talked about mentorship with the veterans and the rookies. Obviously, you're a vet. You've been through the fires. How are you trying to take that leadership role to like a Ben or a Cole, the younger guys in that locker room?
I mean, I think I just try, and it's not like I'm out there holding their hand by any means. I try and pull them aside and say, hey, this is how I would maybe do this. This is what I think you can maybe work on. But first, you got to have a personal relationship with someone. Know that I care about them. It's not just me being the salty vet that's out there trying to tell them what to do every play, because they got a coach for that. I'm just trying to help them in any way I can. It's something that at this stage in my career, I think I've taken a lot more pride in now than maybe I did when I was younger. And so I'm just trying to maximize this team. Anyway, anyone I can help, not only tight ends, but any skill position player, even a defensive guy that I think he could do this a little better. He's giving me a tell. I want to be as open as possible, because that's what guys are going to remember. People aren't going to remember my stats, my yards, my catches when I'm done. Hopefully they remember the relationships that I have with them, and so that's what I'm trying to develop.
This franchise is trying to build a winning culture. You've been to the mountaintop. What are some of those key ingredients to build that culture?
I mean, I think it all starts on the practice field, honestly. You got to have your best players be your hardest workers. You got to be able to go out there and practice extremely hard, and not just one time a week, but you got to consistently demand excellence on the practice field. And I think I would say we're laying the groundwork for that. The best teams I've been a part of have been the hardest working teams. And so I think that starts at the top with not only the guys that they bring in, AP brings in, and Dan kind of sets the standard, but the vets got to set the leadership, how this thing is going to go. And we're going to push each other to be the best version of ourselves that we can.
What differences have you seen in this offense here versus in Arizona?
I mean, we're at the base level right now, obviously. We've only been here for a month, so it's very I would say there's a lot of carryover. But as we get going, as we get into more of a game plan, I'm sure it's going to change here and there. But this offense has been successful in this league, so it's not like he needs to come in, Cliff, and revamp this whole thing. He's had success in this league. Obviously, we didn't accomplish our ultimate goals in Arizona of winning the Super Bowl, but we're hoping to do that here.
What kind of a teacher is he, and is it different for him being an OC versus a head coach when you're with him before?
I mean, I think everyone changes as they go. Obviously, Arizona was a unique experience for him, for myself. And I know we're both extremely excited to be here. We definitely have a chip on our shoulder, I do at least. And he's definitely teaching a lot. He's excited to work with the quarterbacks. You can feel his energy each and every day that he's out there with the guys. I think he's just, all of us are excited to be here.
You talked about the chip on your shoulder for Cliff coming back to the NFL. DQ's talked repeatedly about getting a second chance at being a head coach. Is that like a community vibe? Like how does everybody reflect that a little bit with this group?
You mean the chip on the shoulder mentality?
Yeah,
almost?
just the whole team almost.
I mean, we all have a story, right? We've all been either doubted or whatever it is. Even Jaden transferred. I don't know the story in college, but he started at ASU, ended up at LSU. Even though he was a second overall pick, I'm sure he overcame some extreme adversity in his life. And so how do you muster that into positive energy instead of negative energy? And for me, obviously, this is my third team, essentially. And so I do have a chip on my shoulder. Last year didn't go the way I wanted it to. The last year in Arizona didn't go the way I wanted it to by any means. And so I can only speak for myself, obviously. But you learn all those things. They're almost scars per se, and you feel them every day, and they craft your mentality. They craft your identity. And obviously my faith is a big part of me. But also I feel like that experience has changed my outlook, and I'm extremely excited for this year.
Another probably too early question, but Ben Sinnott coming in. Any early thoughts on him, and how do you guys kind of see the pieces you have all kind of fitting together?
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's very early. I saw him for a day essentially today, and we were in two different fields for most of it. But, I mean, obviously they really like him. He was a second-round pick for a reason. I was a second-round pick. So, obviously, hopefully he can have an amazing career. I'm here to help him in any way I can. Colson is a heck of an athlete as well. And we got a lot of young, talented tight ends in the room. I'm kind of the guy that wants to be a voice in their ear if they have questions or if they have anything that they want to bounce off me. But it's my job to be the best version of myself first and also help build them up as well. Yep, thank you guys.